All right, welcome back. As expected, two news videos today for the price of one. Anyways, so Yona Gadjovich is now a member of the San Jose Sharks. They claimed him on waivers. Everybody else from waivers yesterday cleared, which means Canuck fans are reacting in a very reasonable. Yeah. There's a lot of discussion about the Canucks losing an asset for nothing and how they didn't get back what fans hoped. But what's being reported now as well locally is that there was no interest in Gadjovich. They tried to trade him. There just wasn't anybody willing to make a trade for the player. Very good at the AHL level. And again, it's that instance where I think the Canucks wanted him to get time here in Abbotsford. They wanted him to get that extra time in the AHL before bringing him up to probably play on the fourth line. And there's just other fourth line options for Vancouver. So San Jose picks him up. I really think he's likely a bottom six forward at the NHL level. I don't know that he necessarily ends up being top six, but for San Jose, it's a good pickup. Which means Cole Lind goes unclaimed on waivers. And again, that draft year, the Canucks picked up some pretty good players with guys like Rathbone, who's still on the team, DiPietro, who's going to be playing down here in Abbotsford, and of course that Pedersen guy. So the Canucks lose Gadjovich, but San Jose, I think, has picked up a decent bottom six forward here, and we'll see how it all turns out. A little bit more news out of Montreal. So with Carey Price situation, clearly it is a mental health issue, and so the team has extended their statement of take all the time you need. And of course, on the internet, there's he has a lot of money, so he can't be depressed, which is not really how that works. Mental health is not responsive to having a lot of money. It just isn't. Now, does it mean that the stress changes? Absolutely, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily happier. It just means that your stresses in life will change. But if there is a mental health issue, you can't buy that away. So Bergevin, in discussing his situation, he's in the final year of his contract, and he's going to wait until the offseason to talk about an extension. So we'll see whether or not he stays in Montreal past this season. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how this year goes, but we already kind of have some built-in, I don't want to call them excuses, but we have some built-in reasons why if Montreal fails to make the playoffs this year, it could be understandable. The loss of Weber, however long Carey Price is going to be out, the upheaval on the roster in general, there are reasons why. If Montreal ends up missing the playoffs, you might be able to say that it's out of Bergevin's hands that this has taken place. Interesting too on the waiver wire, and in that same vein as what we're talking about today, Louis Domingue is on waivers, and he's talked about how mentally it's been hard on him. He's bounced around the league a lot. He hasn't really been able to basically, get himself planted anywhere, and it's hurt his self-esteem, and he's looking to get his game back. So Pittsburgh's going to send him down. And with Wilkes-Barre, we'll see whether or not he gets his game back. And he's basically saying, yes, I will get my game back, and I'll be back at the NHL level. I still remember the long undefeated streak he had in Tampa. And while he was never like a big starting goaltender, he could be a decent backup at his peak. So hopefully he gets back to that. Domingue is a half-decent goaltender, again, when he's at that peak. And I do wish him the best because he just seems like such a decent, genuine guy. Also in goaltending news, Francouz, we found out, will be out 3 to 4 weeks, lower body injury. And the Avs, for the rest of the preseason, will be without their coach behind the bench, as he has tested positive for COVID-19, so he will not be behind the bench. The assistant coaches will be running things for the final 2 preseason games. They're hoping to get him back behind the bench for the regular season's start. So, yeah, we'll see how things go for Colorado and how the goaltending picture ends up shaping up for them. And because, Grubauer goes to Seattle, they pick up Kemper, and now Francouz is out for 3 to 4 weeks. So we'll see who steps into that backup spot and how the games work. And again, you don't want to see anything happen with Kemper, and Kemper is known for getting hurt. I got a kick out of this. So New Jersey, with some guys being sent down today, they've got AJ Greer on waivers. But I could not help but notice when I was reading through, I was like, okay, Nolan Foote and Kevin Ball. So they sent Foote and Ball down to the minors. So I'm really hoping at some point in time, and I know Nolan Foote's a forward, At some point in time, these two are passing the puck back and forth because it'll sound great. Foot to ball, ball to foot, foot to ball. It writes itself. So I'm really hoping for that. There will be those watching this that will think, I really hope that doesn't happen. There'll be others saying, I never thought about it, but now I want to see it happen. And then out of Philadelphia, where Chuck Fletcher is saying he hopes that Kevin Hayes is out the 6 weeks rather than the 8 weeks with his injury. Wade Allison doesn't need surgery for his. So Wade Allison is expected to still be out indefinitely. We don't have a timeline for his return. But not needing surgery would tell you that probably means a shorter period of time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes just getting surgery means you're back earlier, but we'll see how things go for Allison. Hopefully it's not that long. He's a young pup, so hopefully it doesn't take him that long to recover and get back into the lineup. So there you go. Another news of the day video for you fine people. This will probably be all the news for today. And hopefully that's it for injuries for today. That's what I'm hoping for, fingers crossed. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.